All right, today is Tech Tuesday. Welcome to Sustainability with Ariel Judah. All right, so this is your fast, high impact solo blueprint for Tech Tuesday. So, part one, the software trap. Productive procrastination. It's basically calling out the habit of hiding behind tech instead of talking to real humans. Number two, the 3-step friction audit. This is 5 minutes, of your day, making sure that you do manual discovery, teach the exact framework to isolate operational bottlenecks by hand. So we're going to talk about the third thing, which is manual fulfillment and command. So you're going to fulfill things by hand. Issue the directive to run manual outreach and lock down the close. So basically, when you're running a business, you want to run a business. You want to do the actions yourself physically, get the work done, get used to it, and then find a way to replicate it multiple times over. So we're still discussing on Tuesdays manual labor. It's not exciting. It's not sexy. Nobody wants to talk about actually doing the work. Everybody wants to tell you, get an AI agent, hire a virtual assistant, how to get leverage, how to just make your life so easy, so fast. But was your life ever hard? And how hard is your life now? Are you producing? Are you in a profitable business? Or are you in a hobby? So let's talk about what needs to get done. Okay, so part one, exposing the automation mirage. So we're jumping into it. Yesterday was Movement Monday. Today we fixed tech friction. So we're going to look at the machines that drive the numbers that we review on Monday. We're going over the software trap first. So software is safe. It feels like real work to spend 5 hours tweaking something. But let's be honest about it. What that actually is sometimes is productive procrastination. So you're building a digital monument. Sometimes you haven't even talked to those people. So we're staying in the mindset of communication, talking to 10, 20 people today. Let's see what that feels like before we try to automate it to 100. Let's manage the chaos instead of magnifying it. Look at your workflow. Ask yourself, what is the one piece of software that you keep adjusting that hasn't brought a real result to your business yet? Really call it out. Or what is that one piece of software that you keep adjusting that you may not fully use it to its full advantage? Like, you may have a checklist that they're offering that you haven't filled out yet. There may be, some opportunities inside of there that, you may not have used, or there might be leads in there that you haven't followed up with. Really think about the system that you have and the time you spend building it, and really think about, am I using it to its highest level, or am I spending a lot of time doing that when I could actually be working with a client? And hopefully some of the things I'm saying are redundant for you, that your software is fully, useful, that your systems are in place, and that your need for automation truly comes from you giving 100% effort to your business. And, sometimes that's your hobby, sometimes that's the thing you love, but we want to make sure that all our humanitarian efforts, all of our, project management in general is just taken care of from a high-level lens. So you can't solve a problem for a person using one pen and paper, a direct phone call, or just using the software. It's not all, using one solution is not going to save you. Actually having a thorough system that is at capacity that you have to scale is going to show you those results. So we're going to talk a little bit about, friction. We're going to talk about how building that up builds heat. It builds energy in your business. So looking at those manual things helps you figure out, okay, I got to replace myself 20 times over. It can't just be me doing this. That's when you know you really have a need. So we're going to talk about friction. So to fix your operations, you have to learn how to isolate real human friction. You don't guess what your market needs. You audit their manual workarounds. when you talk to a founder or a partner in your network, you don't pitch them a complex app. You ask them 3 simple questions to find out where the wheels are falling out. So this is, for example, of trying to serve a client need or trying to help solve something for somebody, either as a coach or even in a missionary mindset. So first, look at the past behavior. So, and this is for your notes for yourself. You're asking yourself, how did you track your daily tasks or manage your team last week? So if you're copying text back and forth between messy group chats, that's something that you can start building upon. If everybody's exchanging on a spreadsheet, we can start working on that. If you truly use a CRM like HubSpot, Salesforce, Zoho, those are really great things that we can start from. So the second thing is the pain point. So what was the exact moment you wanted to throw your phone out the window during the process? When did it stress you out? What is missing in this process? So listen for the breakdown. Listen for that true emotional response. And it's always like somebody dropping the ball, like a missed deadline, or a leader having to do double of the work. But you really want to look at that pain for where things are being missed and things are being dropped. And that's where you can pick it up, first with human effort and giving it your all, but second of all, automating that with a tech tool. So the third thing is inspect their current solution. So look at the spreadsheets or notebooks or, the CRM that they're using to survive, and look at its efficiency. See if it's actually supporting the business ethics, and then we dissect that. What I often do once I've gotten to this third part of this process is I'll take that current solution and do intense research on it and do pros and cons, figure out what I like, what I don't like, what I would add to it. And that's when we find the end result of a solution. But, it often ends up being an accountability thing. And if you can't trust your team to get things done, you should fire them. All right, so moving forward. So, do some self-reflection. See, write down in your journal, find out, is your entire operation running on a messy spreadsheet? Is it running off of just your gut feeling or your prayers? What is your business truly running off of? And figure out what those messy workarounds are and create the true blueprint for your next project. You probably already have it. You're just going to identify that from looking at how your daily workflow works. So your job isn't to build a massive app. Your job is to step in and make sure that manual process increases 10% daily by hand. Yeah, look at your results. Like, focus on result metrics. The numbers never lie. So the third thing we're going to talk about, fulfilling by hand and the tactical command. So once you find that point of friction, don't just send the team a link for a software tool. Make an actual manual, plan. Like, write out a plan. You can use AI, but make sure that it's backed by a clear project management strategy. So be able to look your partners in the eyes and say, hey, we're going to make this less chaotic. We're going to hand those tasks over to the correct individual. We're going to assign an AI agent or an automation tool to this topic specifically. And then you start manually logging those updates, start verifying that progress, and then you're going to start getting clean reports based on that system and based on that task. So, and another thing is, you often find people are just doing too many jobs. And by you narrowing it down for them, they'll be able to bring more results. But if you're a solo person, look at yourself, look at all the things that you do, have grace for yourself, and that's where you create your AI agents and your automation from. So, you execute the fix manually by doing the work. Doing it by hand teaches you real problems. It builds deep trust, and it makes you money before you spend a single dime on software. Validate the process by hand first and automate it second. So here's your Tech Tuesday command. Close out your software builders before the sun goes down today. Call 3 people in your network. Ask them where your workflow is breaking down, document their exact words, and find a way to help them clean it up by hand. You know, don't just put it in your prompt. Don't just do it in Lovable. Don't just do it. Let's look at the software. Let's talk about what the problem is before you go make 20 drafts and try to launch something to your team tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow is Workaholic Wednesday, where we shut the doors for deep solo focus, locking down our calendar health blocks for setting up, data loops so we can get more information into our business and get more access to our ideal customer or partner or, group that we want to impact. And we really focus on protecting our physical stamina. You got to work out. You got to stay active. After this, I'm going to a golf lesson at Ted Rhodes. So before we cut the feed, if you're a high-performing founder, a leader, running a social equity startup, or a humanitarian operator out in the field doing real work, we really want to hear your story. Head over to arieljudah.com right now and contact us. We'd love to hear more from you, and also reach out via my cell number, 615-821-9662. And you can also apply as a guest on the Building Trust podcast with the Trusted Trade Hub. We're doing a lot of relationship building there with founders all around the country who've built a business based in trust. So we really welcome anyone to that medium as well. And remember the house law. What's fun gets done. Step out of the software trap, simplify your engine, and let's execute. I'm out.